We want to welcome Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner of the Israel Defense Forces to give a little bit more insight on the fight against Hamas. Thank you so much for being with us. I know that you all have lost a number of soldiers between those killed October 7th and in the ongoing battle. How's morale right now?
Good morning, Adrienne. Indeed, the IDF is conducting its day 27 of the war against Hamas after they launched the most brutal massacre against Israelis on the 7th of October. It has had a huge rallying effect on the state of Israel. And indeed, the forces are strong, prepared, and mobilized in order to dismantle and destroy Hamas and make sure they can never, ever have the power of government again to rally and attack and brutally massacre the people of Israel. So the morale is high, the operations are ongoing. We understand it's a long haul. This is not going to be a rushed in strike and in and out. It's going to be extended, but we will defeat the enemy.
In terms of the ground invasion that we heard so much about, your troops are already in Gaza. Is this the beginning of that invasion? And is that certainly imminent at this point?
So we're being very cautious of what we call it, but clearly there are ground operations, air operations and naval operations, and they're taking place extensively and expanding both in kind and in force and effort. So the concept of operation is one that we maintain the flexibility without telling the enemy what we're doing. So yeah, there are forces on the ground. You're seeing we're distributing the footage that you're now broadcasting, and we are engaging the enemy wherever we see them. Hamas are being pursued at all levels, from the level of their governance through the level of their planners and the level of their terrorists, operators that conducted the attack. And we are really determined to make sure that they will not be able to utilize the strip as the Gaza Strip as a staging ground. This can never, ever be allowed to happen again. The forces, as I said, are operating. We're expanding operations, seeking out those that conducted the attack against us, but making sure Gaza is a better place for as a neighbor for Israel, but also for Palestinians as well.
I want to speak to you about being a better place in just a moment, but first I have to ask you about this airstrike on the Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza. The IDF reports the target was the Hamas command center and tunnels reportedly underneath the camp. So when we hear about these numbers of nearly 200 people, civilians being killed, is that, you think, inflated? Is that propaganda to make Israel look bad? Are they using people as human shields? Give us your perspective.
Andrea, here's what we know. Hamas has made Jabalia, like many of the places in Gaza, fortified positions with company command centers, forward operating bases. They have a subterranean network of tunnels that are throughout the Gaza Strip and specifically beneath Jabalia. So when we strike a target in Jabalia and we kill the battalion commander, Ibrahim al-Biari, 2 days ago, the after effect of that strike is that some of the tunnels collapse, and with it, buildings that were built on top of it. So indeed, when you ask the question, is it a human shield? This is Hamas's whole modus operandi. They're doing everything possible in order to create more civilian casualties, to have to sacrifice more Palestinians. Our goal, and the people of Gaza are not our enemy. Hamas is the enemy of both Israel and the Palestinians in Gaza.
Can you just give some understanding, though, because there are a lot of harsh critics of Israel right now, including at the UN, who say that these could possibly be war crimes. When Israel warned Palestinians to move out of the area with leaflets, with other communications, to move further south, is the South spared from these kinds of missile strikes? Because I think there are a lot of people who are saying, well, you're telling people to flee, but where will they go? What's the answer?
So first of all, those that the IDF operates on the basis and as our guiding star on the laws of armed conflict. So it's distinction between civilians, non-combatants and terrorists. It's also military necessity. So it's weighing up those two. And the question of proportionality always weighs up on those two components. And so, yes, when we are conducting strikes, we are preempting that with a call now for 3 weeks on people, evacuate the north of the Gaza Strip. Hamas, on their behalf, have been telling people, no, you can't go, threatening them, preventing them physically with checkpoints, making it very, very hard for them to leave. That does not relieve us from our responsibilities of still mitigating and limiting strike that will cause eventually potentially civilian casualties. We are doing that, and we've called off strikes that we're planning And there are probably about 11 or 12 different stages of our planning process that the IDF conducts in those steps before a strike is conducted. And indeed, when we're telling people to go south, we're saying it's safer than the situation in the north. As you see, we're operating on the ground in the north, and we're not operating in the ground on the south.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.